Hello and welcome to the first episode of M and BH Offline, where we take a step back and discuss our best moments, future plans, and anything else from our favourite game. I'm Emchmu, and this is my co-host BH. We're two Minecraft content creators, most known for our involvement in the Backyard SMP. I'm an Aussie creator, and I've been making Minecraft videos for about a year now, and I've been a member of the Backyard for a good portion of that time. Most of my content focuses on building with the occasional collaboration with my friends here and there.
And yeah, I am BH. I am also an Australian content creator who's been making content on YouTube for 3 years now. Actually, I checked this morning. I think it was like the 3rd of January 2022, which is wild to think. I'm the owner and current player of Backyard, and a current player, I should say. Sorry, I'm not the only one. That would be a little bit lonely. And aside from that, I do find myself in running all sorts of spin-off series and events for other creators. I have a deep love for the more cinematic style of storytelling in YouTube, and you can catch me having an average of like 120 replay shots for a below average video.
So you're just the elderly person. 3 years. Happy birthday. Did I say that?
Thank you, I guess. Yeah, just for the other day, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, Em and I both come from the Backyard, which is a Minecraft server which focuses entirely on just having fun. We started at the start of 2024 and finished at the end of November, and today we're going to be taking a little look back on the previous season to see what we got up to, our fun little moments and stories, who was with us, who left us, and all the bits and bobs that made Backyard Season 1 Backyard Season 1. It was a really fun time, and I think we all had a lot of fun.
We definitely did. And yeah, quite a few people on the Backyard. So we've got our member list, which is, we'll give a little read through, just a quick idea of who's on it. We had 10-minute timer, Billy Rants, Belmazi, BH, obviously, Cherry Blossom, Crispy, Ducky Boy, me, Emchmu, Garlic Mint, Hewlandite, Hi, I'm Cece, or Drawn by Cece on YouTube, Jake Cos, Cole, Krampus, The Lumble Humberjack, Misfit Clover, Mycenria, Pail of Pears, Raft Cart, Cinnabuns, Streamer Gang, Sprinkles, and Sheep Dude.
Yeah, it was an extensive list. 24 people in total, yeah. which is a pretty good effort for the first season. It didn't start out that way, actually.
No.
So I think we started with a total of 21 members. And then later on in the season, which we'll get to, we had a couple of members join us later on, which we had Cinnabuns join us after a playdate, which we'll get to. And then we had Clover and Mint join us, I think, about 4 months into the season.
I think about that. Yeah. About 4 months.
Yeah, as we said, Backyard is all about having fun. And it's all about that's why it's called the Backyard. It's like when I was creating the server, I was like, well, what name represents Backyard? Like, no, what name do I want the server to show? And I was thinking about it, and as a kid, the one place you would go to have fun, at least in Australia for us, is the Backyard. You'd go there and you would just mess around with your siblings or your friends when they come over. And I really wanted that to replicate, and I think the Backyard name actually sticks really well for that idea. So yeah, we're gonna first talk about some funny moments, and I think Em, you were speaking to me about your no armor ancient city runs.
Yeah, so there's quite a few funny moments. I think the no armor ancient city was one of the first proper event type things on the server. We had quite a few people engage in it. I think it was like Lumble, Billy, CC, Cherry, Jays, I think, joined a little bit into it. But there was quite a few people. I recently just rewatched some of the video, and it was just pure chaos, which I guess the Backyard is just well known for.
Yeah.
I remember there was a massive jump scare I got from a warden, which I still laugh at that clip to this day. It was just insane. A lot of the funny comments and everything that was made by Lumble and Billy just in the moment, they were the main antagonists of the chaos. They were the ones that were running and summoning the wardens every so often. You would just hear them
absolute
yell.
checks.
Yeah, you would hear them yell that they were on like Warden summoning number 4 or 5 each. So it was crawling with wardens. It was insane. Loads of people were dying, but I want to do that again. That was the most fun I've had Ancient City raiding, because I am often just terrified of ancient cities, so I stay very far away from them. But with that no armor, with just everybody running around in complete chaos, it was the best thing. So funny.
Yeah, I actually I wasn't there for that. I think I was at a tryout for a volleyball team, and I get back that afternoon, and I pull up Discord. I check up Discord, and the first thing I see is a picture of CC's Minecraft skin is just bare naked with just some undies on. That's all I see. That's the first thing. I had no context or anything over this. I just see him in his just pecs out. Like,
yeah, that was him and Billy were both in their undies. They took naked Ancient City runs to the next level. We just figured no armor, but then they, turned up in their socks and jocks, and
I reckon there's still a screenshot of the two just standing next to each other, which is so funny.
There's definitely. Oh, it was insane.
And yeah, Em and I, we found ourselves in probably surprisingly to a lot of moments together.
Yeah.
Which I think back on, I'm like, oh no, I feel like I didn't interact with you as much as I thought I would have in the season. But then I think back on it and like, yeah, there was a fair bit. And what probably my favorite one was the cold Emchmu prank that I pulled, which I loved. That was so funny. You wanna say how that started?
Yeah, well, that started from me in my base. I've dug a massive pit, and I wanted it to be a no fall damage pit. So to do that, I used powdered snow and carpet on top of it. Just so it's like a weird thing that Minecraft does. If you have powdered snow with carpet on top of it, you don't take any fall damage. However, I grabbed a bit too much of the powdered snow, and I was like, oh, can't let it go to waste. So I put it through your entire bedroom on Backyard, because we were neighbors in season 1. And yeah, I just covered the whole thing, and I told you to get on and record. And I just said I put the AC on, needed a jumper.
And yeah, so I rock up to my house. And so my base had probably three buildings at the time. I had a storage area and like a redstone R&D thing, and then my bedroom, where my base was, my bed. And I walk into here, and it is just filled to the brim of powdered snow. Like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this stuff. And the only person that I know worked on this was Em. And so I'm thinking, well, how can I get her back? This has to mean something, right? So I've got to get her back somehow. And so I'm thinking. And then, you know the funny little face on the inside of a snow golem? I was like, that guy's funny. I want to work with something like that. Like, obviously, it's got to be snow themed. There's powdered snow everywhere. It's got to be snow themed. And so I'm thinking this snow golem, and then I'm thinking, wait, I could put Em's face on there. And it genuinely took me about a week to figure out how, because it was like I ended up having to retexture the pumpkin model to be Em's face. And then I made it a cold Em's face because it had like little snot particles and like you were crying because you were so cold, that kind of thing. And it took me forever to figure this out. And I finally got it to where you would spawn a snow golem and it would have Em's face on it. And I sent it out as a server resource pack because at the time we have to each player has to have manually add it to their game client side. And so I sent it out being like, hey, just added a few things to the resource pack and everyone update theirs. Didn't mention a thing about this thing to Em. And so I spend, I think about 2 hours on the inside of Em's base, which is this big mountain, inside of the mountain, making this ridiculous redstone contraption. And this is where CC came in. And I didn't know this, but while Em was pranking my base, CC was there, right?
Yeah, he was.
And he didn't mention anything to me about this. And so he both pranking me and Em was working on both sides here, which was so funny to think of, like
Yeah.
looking back on it. So I set this thing up. I'm setting it up so that there's a snow golem in the middle of M's base that with a sign in front of it saying, what was it? Like something.
Oh, it was.
I don't know. Like this guy's been bad. You have to kill him. That kind of thing.
Yeah, something
And
like that.
I was set to trigger it so that when the snow golem dies, it rains snow golems with M's face from the roof. And how did you find that one?
Well, I know that you were upset. I kind of half pranked you with that one because I accidentally left my mic on mute, so you didn't get the audio. And when it finished, you were like, "Who mutes their mic? Unmute it," to get the reaction. But yeah, I remember seeing. I was like, something's fishy here because, like, I didn't expect the snow golem with my face because mine was like a half-baked kind of prank. I just had a bunch of extra snow and I was like, I'll just fill it up. You went like all out and just made a resource pack and like decorated it and then did a redstone contraption. And yeah, when I killed the snow golem, it just like exploded and I was just in shock. I was the last thing I was expecting. I was thinking maybe like, I don't know, like maybe snow golems. I don't even know what I was thinking at the time, but it was definitely not my face appearing in a frozen format just in front of me. But it was so funny. It was, yeah, I was laughing for quite a while after that one.
Yeah, that was actually such a funny little prank that we got. And we generally found ourselves in way too many.
Yeah.
There was this one time where Sprinkles was starting stream. This whole thing was so funny. My God.
Oh, so many elements.
I'll let you explain the prank part, but before that, while we were getting set up, we were like, what are we gonna do? We got to prank Sprinkles somehow. We're both watching her stream, and she's just got a starting soon screen up with no like microphone or anything like that. So it's just a bit of music. We both like, okay, we'll get the stream up to see where she's at, what she's doing. We put it on like tabbed out of it. We're focusing on Minecraft, and then as Sprinkles switches back to her usual stream and like into the gameplay and starts talking, Em and I are both like walking around, and we both at the same time go, "Oh, what?" Thinking that Sprinkles was around us, but we both had her stream tabbed out, and we both just thought it was her next to us.
Yeah. It was so like I think we both had it at the perfect volume, which it sounded like she was, like a building away because we were in spawn, and we were like, why is she in spawn? And we're looking around for like maybe 5-10 seconds before it clicked. So funny.
It was so good.
And then yeah, when we decided to scare Sprinkles, because I think she had face cam on, so we were like, it's going to be even funnier to just hear her jump. And yeah, we were like, well, let's jump scare. We'll do an end pearl stasis. So like put the end pearl in like a bubble column, then we'll flick the trapdoor, it'll teleport us. And we tested it. We were like, okay, so this is how it works. Put the end pearl in, or BH did, and I was tasked with like the trapdoor. So he put the pearl in, then we trapdoored it just to make sure it worked, and he was like, okay, perfect, it does work. And he went off to go jump scare Sprinkles, which he did, and then was yelling at me to do the trapdoor, which I was doing. And then I realized that the end pearl hadn't actually been put back. We just did the test and never reset the test. So it was a fail.
Thank God that didn't happen. There was this another time. We're really good at this end pearl stasis chamber thing. So there was this whole like one of the Backyardians, 10-minute timer, he posted this video. I think it was called like addressing the allegations. And it was, I don't even know what it was on. No, I called him short. That's what I did. I called him short at the end of one of my videos. Right. It was like a 3-second frame that I called him short. And he makes this whole video being like, I'll beat you in a game of checkers. When I tell you I hadn't played a game of checkers before, I'm being dead serious. I spent the next week grinding out checkers, learning how to play this game. Like I was watching YouTube tutorials on how to play checkers, right? And then we set it up and we're like, okay, well, what's going to happen? We're going to get there. I'm going to lose a game of checkers. I'm going to die. So instead, let's set up this stasis chamber in the middle of our secret base. And as soon as he goes to kill me, will teleport out of there. And now Jay's, one of the other backyardins, he was tasked to sit at the stasis chamber waiting to pull this thing when we told him to. And we play this game of checkers, and it was the most botched game of checkers I'd ever seen. I've only played one game of checkers, but I know what a botched game of checkers looks like. And I think I ended up winning. And I was like, I didn't want it to go this way. I wanted to teleport out. Now, this wasn't part of the plan. I was assuming that 10 would be just a god of checkers, and he wasn't actually. And so right as I go to kill him, we stasis out of there, and leaving everyone more confused as they were, which is hard because we were all sitting there watching this ridiculous game of checkers going, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Oh, it was so funny. I was there watching it, and I remember I ended up with a Big Mac somehow throughout the game. 10 is just one of the funniest backyard. He's just so like random and chaotic.
He's so unpredictable.
Yeah,
he's ridiculous.
And I love it. Oh, he's so good, so funny.
Yeah, so let's look back on the backyard and look at a couple of the other events that the backyardins ran. One of the funnier ones was Lumble and Billy's Hoe Shop. This whole arc was so funny. So out of nowhere, I'm relaxing. I'm playing on the backyard. I'm just doing my own thing, and then out of nowhere, Lumble pings the Discord to this unlisted video, and I don't know what it was called, but it was Lumble and Billy had partnered together to create a backyard escort service, and the whole thing was just them advertising their service that, oh, they'll come and help you like move items around or go on an adventure with you. But the entire thing was just full of these little subtle jokes here and there, these little hints of something a little bit more what's the word for it?
Pushing the boundary of a PG server.
Yeah. There was some comments there that I think I finished watching that video and I was like, my jaw was on the floor. It's so hard to describe. The kind of comments that they were pulling was just so funny.
It was insane. I felt like I needed to shower after that one, but
yeah.
I think the advertisement video, I think it was really out of the blue because they had been planning it for a while, but none of us knew about it. And so just randomly when we got the link to the video and watched it, nobody expected it. And I do think they got a few sales from it though. So
did they?
Good on them.
I was planning on using this service at one point, and then I just never got around to it.
No, they got a couple sales because I remember getting dragged over there by Lumble because they did their in-person advertising, which was a little also not great to their escort service. And yeah, they dragged me over to their little hole-in-the-wall shop down an alleyway, bad neighborhood, and they tried advertising me their host service, and I remember looking at the chest and I saw there was a few diamonds in there, so there was a few sales that had gone on, which I still don't know who.
I don't know who used those services. It was not me.
It wasn't me either. I left very, very quickly. And yeah, there was quite a few funny moments like that in the backyard, and especially just unpredictable. I think you were the main person for one of the bigger moments, which was the warden in Cherry's castle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Cherry has one of the most iconic builds on Backyard, I'd say. The big
absolutely.
Pink cubby house. It was gorgeous.
And that thing shut up so quickly as well.
So quickly, overnight. It was wild. But yeah, it had a very empty tower. And do you want to explain how you decorated that tower?
Okay, so Cherry's castle, the Barbie castle, or the Barbie dream house, I think it was. sits on top of this hill next to this bridge, and like it's so central to everything. It's ridiculous, and it looks amazing. But for so long of a time, there was just nothing going on there. Like Cherry was busy doing her own thing, so we were like, oh, what can we do? And it was this one time that we had a couple of guests on the server, and we're like, oh, what are we gonna do? What should we do? And I don't know how I came up with this idea. I was like, let's get a warden and let's put it somewhere. And somehow it managed to be in Cherry's castle. And we had implemented a data pack that if you put a silence name tag on a mob, it just doesn't make any sound. Like nothing at all. And so you imagine a warden that makes so much noise and sound, dead quiet. And so all of a sudden your screen just goes dark. And you just get sonic boomed out of nowhere. You're done for. And so we take this warden probably a good 2,000 blocks by foot. Like we're running and there's so much death. It was ridiculous. We finally made it to Cherry's castle and we hide it in the stairs. And I think we shoot her a message just being like, hey Cherry, hi, how you going? Next time you're online, just make sure you're recording. I don't remember how it went. But it ended up being Cherry's dog.
Yeah. She got a pet out of it.
It was just the dog. It lived in the basement in the sewers, I think it was. And
yep.
What a strange interaction that was.
It was so good. And I think right at the last kind of part of Backyard, nobody realized that the dog was still there. So people went over and then realized that, yeah, there was still a violent creature inside of the very pretty looking pink cubby house and Barbie dream house. It was just a warden.
Yeah, it was lovely. So kind.
So yeah, the Backyard has been going for a while, and as we mentioned at the end of the season, we saw the aftermath of Cherry's dog. And yeah, we want to talk a bit about how the Backyard has grown since the beginning when the dog was put there and then the end, the last hurrah. So there's been quite a few memorable moments. We've been through a lot in one season for the Backyard. So we've had like the MCC Rising people. That was insane.
That was mental, actually.
Yeah. You and I applied for the MCCR. We didn't get in. But the other team that was part of the Backyard applied and got in, which was Mint, Sinner, CC,
and Clover.
Yeah. It was those four got into the MCC Rising.
Was it the women in STEM who also play Minecraft?
Yep.
And CC.
Wizwapmaka.
I can never pronounce it.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to pronounce. It's so fun to say. But they got trained by Jojo as their MCC trainer. And they did quite well. I think they were predicted last on the Reddit for the MCC Rising, and they got 6, which is very good. They did very, very well.
I'm pretty sure CC got placed like 7th overall as well.
Yeah, which is wild.
That's
CC is
just
insane.
Mental. Yeah.
Yeah. But we threw a little party for them. There were the orange ocelots, so we decorated everything orange. Our skins were all orange, and we got them to join up on the Backyard as the after party and just congratulate them for everything they've done, which it was super sweet and I loved it. It was a great moment to have.
That was so good. We were all in a watch party during the entire event. And for us Australians, these events are usually at the probably worst times ever. I know that for sure after playing in Biome Battle, but I remember I was actually out the night before MCC. I was at my mate's 21st and I got home at probably like 1 a.m. and I'm going to bed and I check my phone and I see a live stream notification from CC as he's preparing to play in MCCR. That was soul crushing is what it was. Like those are one of those days where it's like you put your alarm on and it's like, yeah, wake up in 3.5 hours. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, that was a rough one. But it was so fun to have that watch party. We were all watching it. Everyone was celebrating. It was such a good morning. And they did so well. It was so good to see.
Yeah. So every time there was a issue that occurred or like a letdown, all of us were like collectively sighing and upset. Anytime there was a big win, it was like a big cheer. Everybody was so invested.
It was
So
so
fun.
good. Similar to that, recently myself, Sprinkles, and CC from the backyard, along with Rusty Courage and Hydretics, we got to play in Biome Battle Mini 2. I got it right this time. It wasn't 3. I put 3 in my video and I messed that one up. But we got to play in that as well, which was such a fun event. And it's so good seeing how the Backyardians are taking on different bits and pieces here and there to play in different events, and we scored all right. I think CC, he's played in 3 Biome battles by now, which is I think they've only played 5 games and he's been in 3 of them.
Oh my goodness.
Like, he's tied second for the most games played, which is just crazy. But he's one of those people that you would never expect, and then he just pulls through. Like, I think he might have been like the top scoring player for Biome Battle 3, I think it was. It was ridiculous.
That sounds like CC.
It sounds like CC, absolutely. And then aside from that, we introduced playdates into Backyard, which is our general term for when we have guests online. And usually this would mean that maybe a handful of guests, 4 or 5, would join onto the server for a 2-hour-long event. All the players are split up into 2 teams and are given a task each, and the team has to try and complete that task within the time frame. And it's usually one of the most hectic mornings. Yeah.
Yep.
Which ones did you get to play in, Em?
I played in 2 or 3, I think. I don't remember exactly which ones. Each one of them was like 4 a.m. at my time, so I think I might have blacked out for some of them. But every time I've been on one, it's been super fun. And I think playdates were it was your idea, and it's one of the it's the first time I've seen it on a server or SMP to just have a consistent schedule of inviting new people just to have fun and play around, which is really cool. It's very interesting. I enjoy it every time.
Yeah.
And we've had some very cool people join up, and it's been a good way for us to find new members.
Yeah, and we can look at that transition, because we transitioned straight onto Cinnabuns joining Backyard after one of our playdates. I think it was the first playdate that we did. I was looking for... My YouTube homepage is ridiculous, actually. It's all just small creators. Because I'm always searching for people who I really like what they're doing, and if we like what they're doing, then we invite them onto Backyard as a playdate guest. And that's what happened with Cinna. I found one of her videos on my recommended. I clicked onto it and immediately went, I love this person. Their personality is amazing. And at the time, she was at 6 subscribers. Like, I found this person at 6 subscribers, which I'm always proud of. I'm gonna give that to myself. That's a pretty good effort. We get her on this playdate. And we had... Who did we have for this one? This was with Cinna, Jam. I think we might have had... I think Cream was there for that one. Oh, I don't remember the last person. Oh, it was Hey, It's Emmy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those 4. We had those guys join on for a playdate, and we just loved Cinna's attitude towards it. She was just so much excitement, so much personality. And we all finished that playdate, and we were like, damn.
She needs to be here.
She needs to be on this server.
Yeah.
And so for any of the audience, Backyard, when we look at members, we don't really give out any like application stuff. I know some servers will put out an application timeframe where people can apply to the server to become a permanent member. Us, on the other hand, we look for our creators, we find people that we like, and we have to do a unanimous vote on if that person is going to join. And we all voted on Cinna joining, and it was a very strong yes. And so I sent out the message being like, hey, is this something you'd be interested in? And she was like, yes, I want to, absolutely. And and the rest is history, getting into MCCR and all of this stuff. And it has been so good seeing how much she can grow just being around these creators.
Yeah, we've had quite a few people join since, which was... Did Mint and Clover join after a playdate, or were they just on the back burner to possibly join?
Yeah, so they were on the back burner after One Day, which is a series that Em and I
Yeah.
both played in just before Backyard had started. I think there was a small overlap, but that was a little start to it all. And Mint and Clover were both players in this series, and we loved their attitude as well. And we were like, "Hey, is this something you guys be interested in?" And they were like, "Yeah," but had a little bit more time that they needed to sort things out before joining. And hey, once again, they joined onto Backyard, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah. Well, we've got definitely a few new members as well, thanks to the playdates. And yeah, we announced them on our last Backyard. I think it was a big stream episode, everything that people did. It was a really good time. You made a really cool video
Oh, I
of
love that
the
video so
announcement,
much.
the announcement of season 2 and the new members and the ones that we did unfortunately have to say farewell to. But yeah, the new members. Should we list them?
Yeah, we can list them.
Yeah, so we've got Satay Noodle, Jam Pot Bong, Egg Sticks, Patchley, Tort, Lemon, Mariel, and It's Physics Gym. And all of them were part of different playdates that we had, the assortment of different playdates.
Yeah, so after those guys joined onto a playdate, we were once again just like, hey, these guys they are such fun creators to work with, and I can absolutely see them just thriving in Backyard. So shout out messages. We did a big unanimous vote on all 8 of those players, and they all came back with a very resounding yes. But
very excited.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. It's going to be so good to see these people, like, seeing what they do by themselves has just been so good to see. But in a multiplayer context, you can thrive. It's so good to see, and I think all of them are going to really mesh well with our crew. Unfortunately, as Em said, we are saying goodbye to about 8 players from season 1. Belmazi, Cherry Blossom, Ducky Boy, Jacos, Pale of Pears, Raft Carts, Streamer Gang, and the Sheep Dude or Destroyer. They unfortunately are moving on from Backyard as of season 1. I think they've all got different bits and pieces here and there of their own content and their own journey that they're going on, which I'm so excited to see where they go. We recently finished up recording another part of the Day series, and Destroyer was luckily a part of that. And seeing what he did in that series has just been so incredible, and I'm so excited to see how he goes with that. As well as, a couple of those other people. They've got some really cool stuff going on the channels.
Yeah, it'll be really cool to keep an eye on what they will come on up to. And it was really good to have them on the first season of Backyard, which has now wrapped up, unfortunately. But we are very excited for the next season. We had loads of good moments in the first season, loads of funny moments, and it was a little awkward on the first episode with all of us meeting each other.
Yep.
But I personally, I don't know about you, but I am so excited for the first session of Backyard Season 2 because it's going to be a lot of fun. We all know each other. We're all good friends now, and I think it's going to be a very interesting season for the next adventure.
We have our start date yet to be announced. So we'll have to keep that just under wraps just now. But we're starting soon.
Very soon.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. I haven't played early game Minecraft for so long.
I know.
And since I've been doing so many of these events, and since just sitting down and just doing a little bit of building, a little bit of concepting, I am like, oh my god. All I want to do is play Backyard. I'm so excited.
It was a good little break that we got from Backyard Season 1 to Season 2, or break that we have at the moment. But the anticipation, I'm itching. I'm itching for the next installment of Backyard. I want to play early game. I want to punch a tree with all of the amazing Backyard people, and I want to have a proper hangout with all the new members because I haven't been able to do that with some of the people, but it'll be a whole lot of fun, and I'm very, very excited.
Oh yes, I think everyone is just like they're just frothing for it now. Everyone, like, we've had the last 6 weeks off, and we're almost there.
Almost
Man,
there.
It's so good. There's so many big plans already coming together. It's going to be one hell of a year.
It will be. Yeah, I think that's about wrapped up for our first episode, where we'll have more, where we're going to be talking a little bit more about the backyard, how it's run. BH has got a lot of very interesting things that he can discuss with how it started, how everything's going. And yeah, this podcast will be used to kind of discuss a bunch of the stuff more behind the scenes, where we're not on the backyard or on any of the other series, but we'll be able to talk about a lot of the cool things just in a more informal setting. But yeah, I think that was a really good first introduction and episode for the backyard.
Yeah. And next episode, we get to hear all about how the backyard was formed, and I'll get to tell the funny story of how I met this one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the stories I have for meeting the backyardians is the funniest thing ever. I can't wait.
I know.
It's gonna be so good.
It'll be a really, really fun episode.
But yeah,
this was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's coming to an end. So thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode and the future episodes. If you have any questions or any ideas that you want us to talk about specifically, or anything like that we can do on this podcast, then please let us know, and we'll keep it for a future episode.
Sounding good.
What,
this
me?
Is M.
Yep. This is me. This is M.
Okay, don't sign out me. No, that's fine.
You don't get.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Yep.
Bye.